going on, Jeromes? So, of course, we know it is likely going to be JJ McCarthy show in 2025 and beyond, bringing the Vikings a dozen Jerome bars in the next 10 years. But in terms of the other quarterback, it's very important to have two. If Darnold indeed leaves and gets paid somewhere else, and this isn't a whole rap sheet, Pelissero fever dream is like, oh, the Vikings can have both. And Daniel Jones goes to greener pastures. Who is going to back up J.J. McCarthy? More fatties. Well, a crazy idea we've talked about before, and it's kind of been put on the back burner, is what about Kirk Cousins? What about Kirk Cousins, who, yes, is in the midst of a massive contract with the Atlanta Falcons not working out, but if and when they do cut him, since it's Michael Penix's show, bring him back for the league minimum? All right, so, again, it's something that's completely out of left field, but our guy, Greg Rosenthal and Daniel Jeremiah, they talked about it as a potential out of left field possibility. So this is DJ. Nobody's talked about this. I did. I talk about everything, though. But I think it's a fascinating conversation. Let's say Sam Darnold leaves and Sam Darnold goes to the Steelers, right? So he's gone. If you're Minnesota, here's the options, right? You have JJ. You're hoping he's going to be the guy, but you need a veteran there. You have Daniel Jones, who's been on the team last year. You have Kirk Cousins is available to come back as, buying you a little more time with JJ. Would you rather have Daniel Jones with what he's going to cost, which I think is believed going to be more than what Kirk Cousins made because of the Falcons, and the way the contract was situated, you could get Kirk Cousins back in Minnesota for next to nothing. So now, the way the DJs talk about it as Darnold as a bridge quarterback for JJ, no. No. Nada. Never. But as a backup, I mean, let's be real. I mean, there were some good times with Kirk Cousins. Sort of is what it is. Did the Vikings go to the promised land? Did the Vikings have more than one playoff win? No. But Kirk O'Chains is the thing. Cole's cash, dad jokes, all this stuff. But then he left to be the Waffle House, Tim Pot Waffle House dictator. And yeah, you could tell after the Vikings boat raced the Falcons, like there was still some love and affection there. Certainly. And Kurt at 36 coming off that Achilles, I mean, he had some high moments, but there was a lot of lows and consecutive games with turnovers and no touchdowns. And eventually he was benched. He was benched about a month after he should have been benched. Right. And it is Michael Penix's time in Atlanta. He's the quarterback of the future. And Kurt, after signing a 4-year, $180 million deal with $100 million guaranteed, the Falcons are puffing their chest saying that they're fine having Kurt be the highest paid backup in NFL history. No, it's not going to happen. They're going to cut him, and also that Kurt is just missing everything. Now, why this could work. So Falcons cut Cousins because he actually has a $10 million roster bonus that they can get out of if they let him go, right? But he does have a significant guarantee. And it's going to be exactly like Russell Wilson and the Broncos. So you can sign Kirk Cousins as for the league minimum because that will offset what the Falcons are guaranteeing him. So you have a backup quarterback, a league minimum, and you're good to go. If Kurt accepts the backup role. Now, I don't think that Kurt can go anywhere and be QB1. Outside of maybe Cleveland, reuniting with Stefanski. Obviously, there's nothing there with Deshaun Watson up on blocks. Maybe they draft a quarterback, maybe they don't. But either way, could Kurt be the bridge quarterback there in a very similar offense that he's had success in? Sure, it's possible. But he also could return here to Minnesota. I mean, he and the fam obviously know the area. Yeah. Maybe he'll have to work on Tuesdays, though, because that JJ McCarthy is going to be grinding his ass off on Tuesdays. Obviously has experience with Kevin O'Connell. Could be a solid mentor for J.J. McCarthy and be good in that quarterback room. And also, there's not going to be a demand for teams to have him as quarterback one. There just is not going to be. But he does turn 37 in August. He is going to be a year removed from that Achilles. So what was the problem with Cousins is that one of the best things about him is him under center, play action, taking deep shots. But with the Falcons, they had him almost exclusively in shotgun, basically taking away the best part of his game because they didn't trust his movement. And when he planted that foot, he just wasn't getting the velocity on the ball like he normally does. So they'll have to test things out, because if he's regained confidence in that foot and velocity on his ball and enough movement where you're fine having him under center, I mean, then we can have a conversation. Also, I don't think that this would divide the locker room. Obviously, there's players here that have a ton of experience with Kirk Cousins, but I feel like, I mean, players have cable. Like, they understand how Kurt operated last year. And I think with the veteran leadership in this locker room, with Kevin O'Connell, laying things out, it's like, hey, this is JJ McCarthy's team. Kirk Cousins is the backup. And also, if he comes back, he can be Kirk Cousins again. So there you go. But, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here. A, the Vikings don't bring Darnold back. B, they miss out on Daniel Jones. C, they don't bring anyone else in. D, the Falcons cut Kirk Cousins. E, Kirk doesn't get work elsewhere. And F, Kurt is back. I mean, it seems like something that's so out of left field, but it would be something that would be such a Viking storyline. You know what I mean? It's like when Matt Schaub returned to the Falcons to be a backup after spending some time with the Texans. It would be absolutely bleeping hilarious, but who knows? Crazier things have happened. And frankly, if Kurt sets aside his ego and fully accepts that he is the backup, like if he flips the script and realizes that, hey, I'm Joe Flacco now. It is my job to be a backup, be good in the quarterback room, and play some snaps if needed. But this is not my team. There's not going to be a palace coup. It is this kid's show. If he understands all of that, this could actually work out. But we'll see. Anyways, your thoughts are our thoughts. Kirk Cousins as the Vikings backup quarterback. Let us know, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.